Here begins the tale of woe. You're sitting comfortably. While you're away, you had the fence between yourself and your neighbor replaced. Tino the retriever disliked his loss of being able to see through the holes. I love it when you see online, like, people who... I saw one where someone had cut circles in their fence and then put, like, 1950s sci-fi, like, domes. And so the dogs could, like, put their heads into the domes and watch what was going on. It's pretty cool. And there was another one where someone had cut a slot in their fence so that people could post cheese. Pause, no wet nose, no.
Pausing.
I'll let you get a large glass of wine. Wish I could have a large glass of wine. Do it in a David Attenborough voice. I cannot keep that up for like 2 hours. This is going to be a long freaking story. Oh, I was really annoyed. I bought myself a new microphone stand thing. Turns out it's not height adjustable. I was really pissed off because I need to be able to go between standing and sitting, which are two different mic positions. Can't do that. So I can't use it, which is a shame. So we're going to have to deal with these things, which work, but they're just not quite up to the task of holding this microphone because it's very heavy. Anyway. So, let me get my dates straight here. So, cast your mind back, if you will, to the weekend of the 25th and 26th of April. So this was not the weekend we've just had, the weekend before. I'm not going to be reading chat very much while I'm talking, by the way, so if you have a question, wait for a moment where I pause and maybe like tag me, but I'm probably not going to see it. But I will pause occasionally to allow questions. So this is the weekend before I'm due to move. So I'd agreed with the letting agents that I would pick up the... we should probably... 1 hour 7 into the stream, okay? If people want to, like... if anyone comes in and goes like, oh, what happened? 1 hour 7. Or the beginning of the YouTube stream. More or less. So that weekend, I knew that I was going to be coming here to collect the key for this house on the 30th, the Thursday. So I knew I would have to. Sorry, there's going to be some challenging tenses in this for non-native speakers. I apologize. So that weekend, I knew that in a few days' time, I was going to have to drive from my old home in England, near Bath, drive 120 odd miles over here, pick up a key, sign a bit of paper, drive 120 miles back, because it had to be done during April, so that I could then meet the removals people the following day on the Friday, on the 1st of May, pack up the house, or put the house in the vans, and then bring the stuff over here on the Friday so I can actually physically move. And then the step that I still haven't actually done, which is then at some point in the future, go back to my old house and finish emptying and cleaning it, which I haven't done yet. So the old house has still got some of my stuff in it. The old house is still dirty. So at some point in the next week, I still need to go back to England and do that bit. I am not looking forward to that. Because everything for me right now is quite slow. Anyway. Also, over that weekend of the, what was it, 25th, 26th? In the lead up to this horrible week of finishing packing and, you know, beginning cleaning and things like that, and taking loads of things to the recycling center, trying to like get rid of stuff that I wasn't taking, trying to get some paperwork done and like services and tell people I'm moving and all that kind of stuff. All the stuff that goes with moving. I started to feel very, very unwell. I started to have pain that I've had in the past, but nowhere near as intense. So I had like pain like up here, basically, under my ribs on the right. And I was like, shit, this isn't good. This isn't good because this is not like my normal GI pain, because I get a lot of like pain in my abdomen. Is totally normal for me. This was not that. And so I'm like, okay. I feel like I've been run through with a spear. That's probably not great. And so by Monday night of moving week, I was feeling so bad that overnight I was like, I'm in so much pain, I'm going to have to book an emergency appointment with my GP in the morning. And so I contacted the GP on Tuesday morning, and they saw me within 15 minutes of me raising a request, which is fantastic. And so I was in with the GP and explained blah, blah, blah. And while I was there, she was just about to, because we discussed it and it was like, oh, it's probably diverticulitis. It's a bit higher than normal, but it's probably diverticulitis. I've had it before. And she was about to write me a prescription for some antibiotics for that. And as I was lying on her examination bed, I was kind of like, feeling my abdomen. And I noticed I could feel a lump where normally there is no lump. And I said, Doc, can you come and feel this? And I said, I think I can feel like a mass, and that's where it hurts. And so she poked around a bit, and she said, no, you're right, there is something there. So yeah, like if I hadn't noticed that. So it's just because I was sort of almost absent-mindedly just kind of poking myself. And she's like, no, you're absolutely right. There is something there. I'm going to get you a surgical assessment. Of course, she didn't know anything about my house move. I'm going to get you a surgical assessment emergency appointment tomorrow morning, because that absolutely should not be there. So I had to say, Doc, I'm moving house. This was Wednesday. I said, I'm going to Wales tomorrow to pick up a key, and then I'm packing up my house and putting it in vans on Friday to move. I can't do that. And of course, that's not her problem, right? She's like, she didn't say dude, but she's like, dude, you have a painful mass in your abdomen. You need to go to the hospital. I'm like, Doc, I just can't do that. It's not physically possible because I can't cancel the move and I have to be there for it. So I kind of like, I was like, oh God, it's like like the most impossible situation I've ever been in. And so she persuaded me by just staring at me, basically. She did that thing that doctors do with like. And so I decided, I was like, okay, okay, Doc, get me the appointment. I will somehow get there. So she booked me an appointment for the next morning. So this was like 10 a.m. on the Tuesday. She booked me an appointment for 10 a.m. on the Wednesday. In the massive hospital in the middle of Bath, which is extremely difficult to get to. And so, if you don't live in Bath. So then I had this problem where I left the GP surgery with an appointment at 10:20 the following morning and had no idea how I was going to make any of this work. Because not only am I dealing with finishing packing the house, going to get the key and actually moving, but now I have to deal with going to the hospital and not knowing where that's going to end up. So that was moderately stressful. And this was the point where I nearly killed my mother, because I was like, gee, I need help with something. So that this is logistically impossible for me to do all of these things. I need some help somehow. And so I thought, I'll run it past my folks and we'll see if they have any ideas. So I tried to call my dad. But my dad was driving at the time, I think, it turned out. And because he was going to see a friend of his who he was in an accident with. My family right now is a disaster. So he was going to visit a friend of his who'd broken his leg very badly in an accident. And so he couldn't answer the phone because he was driving. But I was properly panicking. And so I texted my mom. I was like, where's Dad? And so she called me. I'm sorry if you heard this bit earlier, but she called me. And so I couldn't then avoid I couldn't avoid telling her because she was directly asking me, what's wrong? Something is obviously wrong. What is wrong? And so I had to tell her. I've just been to the GP. She's booked me an appointment with the hospital tomorrow for an emergency surgical assessment. Finished that conversation with like, I don't know what to do. She didn't know what to do. I'm like, Mum, I'm not expecting you to tell me what to do. I'm just telling you. And at the end of that conversation, she was volunteering at the time. She put the phone down to me, passed out, smacked her head on a counter, and needed stitches. So my dad ended up having to take her to the hospital. And they were there for like 9 hours while she had her head stitched up. But in the meantime, I did actually manage to get to speak to my dad before we knew that my mum had brained herself. And so this is like late morning on Tuesday. And I know, Grant, but the problem is I am not subtle when it comes to things like that. I'll just say it straight. Like I bear in mind at the time I was like losing my mind with panic. I didn't have the time. I didn't have the mental capacity. I was in a huge amount of pain. I hadn't slept for days, and I was panicking. And so I just like reeled off all the information. Like I did, it wasn't my fault. So I talked to my dad. And my dad offered to come and like take me to the hospital on the Wednesday, so at least I didn't have to like find out a way of getting into the center of Bath or parking or whatever, because that would have been a nightmare. Because I know you can't park at the hospital. And so he came over and took me. So the next day, my dad came and picked me up in the first thing in the morning. After I spent most of the night packing, in pain, having not slept for like 3 days. And I went to the hospital. And they did a blood test. So this is not Wales, this is England. So in Bath, they did a blood test. And the blood test came back absolutely perfect. Apart from one thing, which was that my inflammation marker, my CRV, was exceptionally high. And so, given where the pain was, this led them to the conclusion that probably it was my gallbladder. And the next logical step in that kind of diagnosis path is to run some kind of scan. So, I am not going to stop for ads. People can either sub or they can go somewhere else. I can't tell you what you need to do, but you can do it. So the next step is, some kind of scan. So either like a CT scan or an ultrasound or something like that. Some kind of diagnostic. And so the consultant that I was talking to was like, right, okay, we'll get you admitted, and tomorrow we'll get you a CT scan and we'll figure out what's going on. I'm like, I can't. I had the same conversation that I had with the GP. I'm moving. So this is now Wednesday. I'm going to pick up the key to my new house 120 miles away in Wales tomorrow. I have to do that physically. And then on Friday, I have to do the same journey again because I'm actually moving. So over the next 48 hours, I have to drive 240 miles twice. So I have to drive pretty much 500 miles and finish packing my house and put it in 2 vans. I can't do that. And so it's like, well, and I strongly recommend that you do that. And I can't. I physically can't do that. And so we had a very frank conversation that basically went, sir, am I dying today? And he said, no, because your bloods look normal other than the inflammation markers. So what that tells me is basically you're just in a lot of pain. I'm like, yeah, I can confirm that. But at the time, on that day, I actually felt kind of okay. I wasn't in that much pain. And I kind of like my energy levels were okay. And I was like, I was feeling all right. I was feeling functional. And so he had a good feel in my belly. Everything felt good enough. And so I said to him, how about this? If we can agree that I can leave, obviously I can leave, I have my freedom, but I would like his consent to leave. If you are happy, if you give me the blood test results, because the NHS in England and the NHS in Wales are completely separate and don't talk to each other. So I've essentially come to another country from a healthcare point of view. If you print me off the blood test, I promise you, sir, that when I get to the other end in 48 hours time, when I have done the move physically, I promise you that I will close the front door on the removals people, and I will get in my car and I will take myself to A&E and I will admit myself. And he said, yes, that sounds reasonable. But if you start to feel very ill between now and then, you need to go to A&E, wherever you are. And I shook his hand and he gave me the blood test result and I left. Which is obviously not what he wanted. And somehow, I have no idea how I managed it, because I was very ill. Somehow, I managed to finish packing the house between Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I managed to finish packing the house. I managed to drive 240-mile round trip on Thursday to get the key. Finish packing the house between Thursday and Friday with no sleep whatsoever. I literally finished as the removals guys were arriving on Friday morning. I then drove the 120 miles ahead of the removals people to get to here. I then helped them to, unpack, because you have to watch what the frick they're doing. So I helped them move all the stuff in, directed them where to put stuff. And one of their vans was delayed because the director of the company had to go somewhere, and so they had to stop and switch drivers. So it took a lot longer than it should have done. So about I don't know, it's about 6 p.m. probably they left. And so then I'm horribly ill, in pain, in a house full of boxes in Wales. with that promise lingering over me as well. So I shut the door. I probably went, like, laid on the floor for a bit and just groaned for a while. And then I kind of pulled myself together and, like, had a shower. Because fortunately, because I'd essentially been camping in my old house for the past couple of days, because everything was packed, I had, like, a go bag. Like, I had a bag that had, like, toothbrush, toothpaste, shower gel, you know, all the stuff that I needed to exist for the last few days at the old place. So that was quite handy because it meant I could have a shower and whatnot here. So I had a shower, felt slightly more human. And I was like, I need to rest. Because bear in mind, at this point, I hadn't slept at all for the previous 48 hours. And like in the last week before that, I'd barely slept. And so I was just totally knackered. And feeling very ill. So I flipped down a mattress onto the floor. And I just laid down on the mattress. And I managed to somehow, despite the fact that I was in incredible pain, I managed to get 4 or 5 hours sleep. Because I was just so exhausted. And so then I woke up around about midnight. And so then I started to plan, okay, when's the best time to go to A&E? Oh, fortunately, I'd met the previous day on Thursday. I'd met my landlords because they happened to be here when I came to just check the property's okay and that the key worked. And they happened to be here just cleaning out the last few bits of stuff from the garden. And so I was talking to them, and I'll tell you more about what they told me another time. But the wife of the couple is a paramedic. And so when I mentioned that I was really ill on the Thursday, and that I'd promised this surgeon that I was going to go to A&E, she told me where the best A&Es are, because there's quite a few in the area. And she was like, don't go to this one. Don't go to this one. Go to that one. And so she recommended the hospital in Carmarthen. And yes, super handy. Super, super handy. And so that's where I went. It's a really cool. So in the UK, you don't want to go to an A&E department. You don't want to go to an A&E department at a big hospital. Because while the A&E department is attached to a big hospital that has all the services, you are going to be waiting for like 10 hours. Because they generally serve huge populations. You want to go to the smallest A&E you can find. Because if you are seriously ill, they will transfer you to a bigger hospital. So, I decided to go to one of the smaller ones, which is Carmarthen. So I was like, okay, so I'm thinking like it's midnight. I've just slept, so I'm a little bit more mentally, with it. And so I'm thinking, okay, it's bank holiday weekend. It's Friday. Between Friday and Saturday. What time of day, because I have a bit of experience with A&E, what time of day is going to be the least busy? It's probably going to be the early hours of the morning. It's probably going to be like 5 or 6 a.m. Because then the drunk crowd from the previous night have gone through and the activities crowd from the Saturday haven't come in yet. And so I was like, right, I'm going to try and get there between 5 and 6. And so I did. So I packed a bag, although knowing that I would, be staying for a few days probably. But unfortunately, because all my stuff was in boxes, I couldn't find that much. And so I couldn't find like change of clothes. I couldn't find so many things. I couldn't find headphones. I managed to find a book, which was good. I managed to find earplugs, which was incredibly important, as it turned out. And so I just went in the clothes that I was wearing, that I had been wearing for the past 2 days. No, A&E is accident. A&E is synonymous with ER. A&E and emergency room are the same thing. So typically you have, in a British hospital, you'll have A&E. Behind A&E will be the surgical assessment unit. So if people need surgery coming out of A&E, then that's where they go. ER isn't in our hospital. Yeah, it is. I'm not sure what I'm kind of confused by what you mean. I'm talking about a department in a hospital. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So, I can't do distractions today. So, now I've lost my track. Where'd I get to? Help, Q, line, small A&E. Oh yeah. So I went to this A&E in Carmarthen. One of the reasons another reason to choose a small hospital is it's typically much easier to park in them or near them. If you go to a big hospital, the parking is usually impossible, and all of the residential streets for like half a mile all the way around the hospital will all have permit parking, so that you can't park there. This hospital, not the case. So because I didn't know how long I was going to be there, I just parked in a side road, just down the road, and walked in. About a 5-minute walk. And I walked into A&E and basically said, like, you're not going to believe this story. And then handed the receptionist the blood test and said, like, I am here because I made a promise to a surgeon in England. And that had the desired effect. So then I was, triaged, told to wait. Had to wait 6 hours, which was pretty long. So apparently I did choose the right time, one of the nurses told me. They said normally, yeah, that would be a good choice. But for some reason, maybe because it was bank holiday, they were having one of the busiest nights they'd ever had. My luck. So yeah, I had to wait 6 hours. My book, there's no way I could read. I cannot explain to you the pain that I was in. Imagine being speared, and then add on to that the fact that you can't stop shaking. I wasn't doing any reading. I was very, very ill. So this wasn't a bit like, oh, I was feeling a bit ill. No, I was seriously ill. So I waited 6 hours, got seen by a doctor. They ran some blood tests and whatever. And very, very similar process to what happened in England, because obviously they did the same things and came to the same conclusion. And got me a CT scan straight out of A&E. And so I had a CT. And the CT confirmed what the doctor had suspected and the surgeon back in England had suspected, that it was cholecystitis, which is an infection of the gallbladder, which is the little bladder that your pancreas excretes bile into, which then pushes bile into your duodenum so that you can digest fat. So then, after that diagnosis, I was admitted to the surgical assessment unit ward, so that the infection could be treated and they could start to figure out what to do. And from that point onwards, it's kind of like just normal like hospital stay stuff, right? I'm not going to bore you with the details. But basically, it is a really bad infection. Like, I was seriously ill. They told me if I hadn't done that, if I hadn't come to A&E, as I'd promised, there was actually a risk that my gallbladder would have ruptured. And if that had happened, I could have been extremely seriously ill. Because then you end up with periodontitis, whatever it's called, where basically the inside of your abdomen becomes infected. And that is like, you're going to die. It's kind of similar to appendicitis rupturing. So, I'm not a doctor. 4B, I don't know, ask them. So then I began antibiotics. So they put me on, over the course of the 5 days I was there, they put me on 5 different antibiotics. And I got worse before I got better, for sure. I was running a very high temperature, and my temperature was spiking over 40 degrees quite regularly. I was like, my temperature was over 40, but I was shivering. It was a bizarre experience because I felt freezing cold. And so your instinct, obviously, when you're surrounded by blankets, your instinct when you feel freezing cold is to gather the blankets around you because you feel cold. And I'm in a ward that's like 27 degrees. And so they kept telling me off. Like, no, you need to lie there on your bed, like naked, pretty much. Because you need to cool off. Otherwise, you will die. And so that was very frustrating. And so then my temperature would come back down again because they would medicate it, and then the meds would wear off and it would go back up again. It was a roller coaster. And then, of course, on top of all of that, my guts, which are always an issue, were especially an issue because of the treatment that I have given them over the previous 2 weeks, plus all the stress. And so not only am I, in pain and having crazy fever, but also my GI tract is like, we don't like you right now. And so I had to deal with that on top of that. And I'm still dealing with that right now. Then, on the Monday, so I was admitted on early Saturday morning. So on the Monday, I was told by the consultant that I could go home. But the ward sister later that day did not release me. So she overruled the consultant and kept me in because my temperature was still spiking. Was not very happy about that. And then Tuesday morning, the consultant was surprised to see me and said again, "You can go home." And looked at all his doctor buddies and like, "You can go home, right? Yeah, you can go home. You can go home. You can go home." And once again, the ward sister later that day said, "No, we can't." And so I stayed again. And then the next morning, when I saw the, and by this point my temperature had stopped spiking. On Wednesday morning, I saw the consultant for the 3rd time. I was like, are we really going to have this conversation again tomorrow? And so oh no, but he did. So on the Wednesday morning, he was really pissed off. So I said to him, okay, you've told me 2 days in a row now, and you've just told me again 3 days in a row that I'm going home. I have no reason to believe you. And then he's like to his team, because he's the senior doctor. He's like, who makes this decision? And so the nurses had to explain to him how it works. I'm like, well, the ward sister has to release the patient. And so I said, so you're being overruled by a nurse? Kind of playing it on a little bit. And so he got really pissed off. And he shouts at his team, like, you need to release this patient. He's responding to the meds. The numbers are going in the right direction. We can give him these meds at home. It's not a concern. Let him go home. And so they did. They very nearly didn't, because one of the nurses was telling me what was going on in terms of conversations, down the corridor. Apparently it was very close. One of the doctors, actually, one of the registrars, nearly kept me in. But I was actually released, which is amazing, because oh boy, did I hate that experience. It was horrible. Like, the staff are amazing. Like the nurses and the support staff. You don't see much of the doctors, but the nurses and the support staff, they really, really look after you. But that environment is so against what I need to recover. It is not conducive to rest and recovery. It is noisy. It is disruptive. It's very easy to get infections and stuff when you're staying in hospital. Like, chest infections are super common. I have a cough. Actually, I'm surprised that I'm not coughing right now. You can't sleep. You don't sleep. I didn't sleep the entire time I was there. The first time I slept really in 2 weeks was 2 nights ago when I got home. And even then I couldn't sleep for like as long as I wanted to, because I had to wake up to take meds. So even though I left the hospital's still like, no, you must wake up. So it's such a horrible, horrible environment. Horrible environment. And I just don't deal very well with random noises, bright lights shining in your face all the time. Visitor time was just hell on earth. And yeah, I never want to have to go back into that situation ever again. So now I'm back home. Doesn't mean I'm better. I'm just continuing the medication at home. So I have, a week of antibiotics to do at home. And they've got me on a cocktail of 3 different antibiotics. They're very, very strong. They're not doing me any favors. I feel not great. And having to take 3 different antibiotics at different times during the 24-hour cycle is very, very annoying and very disruptive. Because it means I can't have a full night's sleep. So that goes on until Wednesday. In the meantime, I'm trying to... It's basically my... Oh, I'm better. I'm absolutely better. Yeah. My energy levels are like peak and trough. Yeah, so right now my energy level is okay. Although I can already feel I'm getting tired. Earlier today, I could barely move. Like, it's just like up, down, up, down. And so I have to, make hay while the sun shines. And so, it was getting towards streaming time. I'm like, I feel okay. Let's stream. Pain. So I haven't had pain, like gallbladder pain, for days. That's completely fine. My GI tract, not so much. Yeah, eating's an issue at the moment. I'm having to force myself. So they're not delayed, it's just how long it takes. So so basically I'm waiting for an ultrasound. I don't know how long that's going to take. It's going to be days rather than weeks, I think. I'm kind of expecting a phone call early next week to go in at some point next week. Which is undoubtedly, knowing my luck, going to be the day that I want to go and clean the other house. Because of course it will be. But yeah, at some point I will go in for an ultrasound, and that will confirm whether it was calcic or acalcic, so with or without stones. If it's with stones, they'll want to take the gallbladder out at some point in the future. Again, there's a waiting list. You have to wait. If it's acalcic, they might not want to do that. It might just be like, let's just hope that doesn't happen again. And given like all the stress and everything I've been through in the last few weeks, I think that would be reasonable. Yeah, I can't feel anything now. Yeah. Completely soft. So that's basically where I am right now. Is I'm just, you know, being treated at home and waiting. Yeah, Mum's okay, yeah. Yeah, so my energy levels are kind of up and down. And I am on this like schedule of medication. Some of which I have to have with a meal. Can I play a game? I don't know. Well, I don't know. I'm sorry to inconvenience you with my suffering. The car disaster. Oh boy. I'll tell you what. I don't trust my car right now. If my car had broken down while I was like driving to the hospital, I would have just like, okay, I'm done. I'm just done. Let's just end it here. Fortunately, it did not. Yeah, so my energy levels are very up and down. I don't know what that's going to mean for the streams. Also, I haven't finished at the other end with the other house. So at some point I'm going to have to go over there and do that. And so there's going to be some disruption. And I'm not going to be able to do full-length streams. That's just a given at the moment, I'm afraid. Yeah, I think that's it. Unless anyone has any other questions, I think that's all we need. My health, yeah, my health is more important than streaming. I agree with you, Camo. But I'm self-employed and I don't get sick pay. And the problem with content creation as a profession is that you must not take time off. It's like the #1 rule of content creation is do not take time off. Because because our income is essentially based on habits. It's based on viewing habits. And when someone that you watch regularly disappears for a week or two, you start watching other things. Not maliciously, just you want something to watch. And so then you find someone else to watch and your habit changes and you don't go back to the original channel. I've done it myself many times. Like streamers who I used to watch, I don't watch anymore because I just started watching someone else. And so the problem is, while the just look after yourself line is great, and I appreciate the sentiment, that is not possible. Because if I do that, I'm like, I'll just take another month off and just recover. I won't have a job. This whole thing will be non-viable, and I'll have to go and get a job, like a proper job. A traditional job, or you know, become unemployed. And so I have to get some streams in, because just fundamentally from an audience retention point of view in the long run, but also just from a stream income point of view, like each stream generates income, and if I'm not streaming, I'm not getting that income. And so I I have, even if I'm just sitting here, just kind of like breathing in and out, I have to, if someone's going to watch that, I have to try and do it. Which is exactly what I just said, Digger. Yeah. I'm gonna try and pace, but I have to show my face. Is it related to the pain otherwise? Yeah. So basically, so I've learned over the past couple of weeks that the pain that I had previously associated with my GI tract, particularly my bowels, wasn't all from my bowels. So there is this pain like right up in the top corner. I'd associated that. I'd grouped that pain in with the rest of it. But I now understand the difference. I can now tell the difference. And I think that I had actually had maybe in the last 5 years, 6 years, that I've been like, investigating these other issues I've been having. Seeing doctors and whatever. I think I'd probably had like 8 different gallbladder infections that had resolved themselves. Yeah, because it's a very specific pain, right? So when I have, I'm sorry to give you, I'm trying not to give too many details, but when I have pain in my bowels, it's a very sort of specific kind of pain. When I have the pain up here, the gallbladder pain, it's like being speared from front to back. So the pain goes in the front and it comes out through the ribs in your back. It goes all the way through. The bowel pain doesn't do that. Insurance? We don't do insurance. We tap taxes. But I recognize that pain, right, from previous years. I recognize having like really what I thought were really bad episodes of GI pain that turned out, I think, were gallbladder issues. And so, so that's kind of interesting. So I'm going to have to watch out for that because now I very much know what that feels like. It does, Yak. Yeah, it absolutely does. Because the period that I was having those previous pains was before I switched my diet. So this was back when I was eating pizza and cheesecake and, all that kind of stuff. Oh, and apparently one of the triggers for a gallbladder infection is losing a lot of weight in the last few months. What did I do a few months ago? Oh, yes, I lost a bunch of weight. No. That's a trigger, apparently. You can't win, no. Fasting, no, I lost weight with the calorie control. It's just 1,500 calorie cap. Yeah. What's even more interesting is in the last 2 weeks, I have lost the same amount of weight that I lost in 6 weeks dieting before Christmas. I am down another 8 kilos in 2 weeks. That's how ill I've been. I've lost 8 kilos in 2 weeks. A bit much. I didn't really have an option. I imagine what I would have lost without the apple pie and the trifle and the sausage. I didn't look like I had 40 pounds to spare. Thank you, Vindictive Quaker. You can stay.
Hydrate.
Oh, one of the doctors called me a skinny guy. He was my favorite. I was like, what's this thing? It's like, that's the edge of your liver. I said, shouldn't that be behind my ribs? He's like, no, because you're a skinny guy. Let me just let through these, whatever they haven't.
Finn McCorvus resubbed for 45 months total at tier 2. Nail 667 resubbed with Prime for 41 months total. Rocket launch detected. Jim Laz resubbed for 64 months total at tier 1. Bill Leach resubbed with Prime for 17 months total. Rocket launch detected.
Happy glad you're back day stats. From Devil Worshipper in Disguise Smile.
Happy underscore Alex, 3 months total at tier 1.
End of story. Pretty much, yeah. I can tell you more about the house.
Siberian Hamster subbed with Prime for 41 months total. Rocket launch detected.
So it only took us 45 minutes to tell that story. That's pretty good, actually. I'm going to go backwards. Hamster, thank you very much for the 41. Aid, thank you very much for the 15 months. Aeroleech, aka Devil Worshipper, thank you very much for the 17-month. Origin Lad, thank you very much for the 64. Excuse me. Nails, thank you very much for the 41 months. Finn, thank you very much for the 45 months. And the freaking tier 2. Very kind. And Sam, I think we got... Oh, yes, we did. Okay. Up to date. It does, C-Bang, yeah. So one of the other reasons I wanted to go live tonight was just, mentally get back in the saddle, It's good for my feeling of progress. Because, like I said before, I might seem like I'm doing okay, but I'm still quite ill. Like I'm still very weak. So this being able to be here is very important to me.
Min Lake said.
And now for something completely different.
Has anyone got any questions about like the house or anything? It's great to be here, and like for those of you who were, chatting in Discord or sending me DMs or whatever, or just sending me vibes. Thank you so much, because the one sort of thing that I've been able to aim for going through this has been, getting back on. Yeah, it's really good, Cheaton. Unfortunately, the room layout hasn't worked out quite how I wanted it to. Because on the day that I picked up the key, it was really windy. And this house has chimneys. And the room that I was going to use as my streaming room downstairs, when it's windy, the chimney is super, super loud. Like it sounds like a jet engine. It is crazy loud. And so there is no way that I could stream in there. And so unfortunately, this room, which I was going to use as my storage room, has had to become the streaming room. Block the vent. Nope, can't do that. Can't do that. The chimney has to breathe. It's also not my house. So basically I've swapped the streaming room and the storage room, which means I'm working in a room which is a bit smaller than I wanted. It's also upstairs, which means it's quite warm in here. So in the summer, this is going to be a very warm room. But it has some advantages. One is that all of the walls are mostly painted white, apart from the one behind me. which is going to make some things easier. It's got a view, which the one downstairs doesn't. No, I just have a very, very, very good camera that can cope with low light. It's what you're seeing on my face is the screens, because there's no light in front of me. So in this room, I'm hoping to be able to do a few things. So basically, I've set my desk up in one corner. Behind me, I've set up a little sofa, which I wasn't using in the previous house. So, and that, this camera can see the sofa that you can't see, which is here. And so I can potentially use, and this is what I was kind of trying to do in the last place. I can potentially use this camera to stream myself sitting on the sofa, talking. The other space that I have to work with is, because I've put the desk to the side, is I have another corner to the side of the desk where I can potentially green screen the wall, and I can do like talking head type stuff where I'm standing up. Or I can maybe put a table there and do like sit down stuff. Like I don't know exactly yet. I haven't had time to think it through. But this idea I've had for a while now and started to implement at the old house but didn't really have space, I can now properly do, where I have different sets. So I watch, sorry, excuse me, I'm very burpy. I watch a streamer called Burke Black, who is part of The Late Shift. And he, at various points during his stream, especially at the beginning, he moves through different sets. And this is the idea that I want to replicate, because I love it. So when Burke starts streaming, he's basically standing on the deck of his pirate ship. And he, like, you know, just says hello to chat and says hello to any like subs and stuff that have come through and just tells people what the plan is for the day. And then he moves to his captain's cabin. So he walks to a different set in his house, which is set up slightly differently. So he's sitting behind a desk. And then he's talking about, you know, like in more detail about new game releases and whatever it is that he wants to talk about, where he can see a screen more easily. And then finally he moves to his actual streaming position, where he gets on with the stream. And then he can use those other sets as well for like sponsored spots. And it just works really, really well, because he's got the whole, he once showed the setup without all the green screen stuff on, so you could see what it was like. And basically the entire basement of his house is just green. So the behind him on his main streaming set is real. So it actually looks like a pirate ship, but the rest of it is all just green. And so he can put himself wherever he wants. Well, that's the beauty of chroma key, Grant, is if you chroma key the background, you can use any background you like. So in this room alone, I can potentially have 2 different sets, right? But I don't just have this room, right? I also have the music room, which is just over there, where I can do audio stuff. And then I also have that storage room downstairs, which is not going to be anywhere near full. And so potentially I can do something down there as well. And the kitchen, in which it would be fairly easy to set up a stream. And potentially outside as well. And so there's quite a few locations.
Bilgewater_EU resubbed for 70 months total at tier 3.
There's quite a few locations around this house where I can start to build variety into not only this stream, but also build variety into the types of content that I make in general through other outlets. Like, for example, you've heard me talking about the podcast.
Hydrate.
Builder Water, thank you very much for the 70 months. Thank you again for the tier 3. Extremely kind of you. Thank you so much. However, all of those things are relying on me getting my energy back, because right now I can't. Also, I need to figure out what is the minimum technical specification machine I need to get a stream and good audio from one room in this house to another. And then buy several of whatever that is, so that I don't have to keep moving the setup. Howling Chimney live cam. So there's a possibility of doing, not permanent probably, but occasionally, if the conditions look suitable, setting up cams outside to look at. I was thinking about maybe occasionally doing cloud cam. Because the clouds here are quite interesting because of the change in topography going from the ocean up into the Welsh mountains, or the Welsh hills, I guess. The sky is very interesting here, so. And there's lots and lots and lots of birds. There's the sheep, although they're not my sheep. So legally speaking, pointing a camera at them is a little bit iffy. And I have to be very careful not to point a camera at my neighbors, because that's definitely illegal. But yeah, there's a possibility of some outside cams. Do you remember back at my old place where I used to sometimes, the summer where I was feeling really ill and I used to do the gardening streams to try and make myself feel better? Where I would, at the end of those streams, just sit on the bench and just point the camera at my face and just sit in the sun. We could do a bit of that. Because there's at the end of the garden, there's the most beautiful tree. And I have a bench, and I'm going to put the bench under the tree. And that's going to be my thinking bench. And so potentially I could take you down to my thinking bench. Is it a sheep privacy law? No, it's a pointing cameras at other people's property law. Near the coast? Yeah, fairly near. About 30 minutes. So yeah, so the question that spawned this was, like, how's the house for streaming or something like that? So the thing that this house does that the other house didn't is, first of all, it was a blank canvas when I walked in the door. Unlike the other place where I've been for years and I kind of like can't see it the same way. But because it's got 2 more rooms, essentially, it just has a lot more options. There's a lot more room for activities. And like this room that I'm in right now, although it's smaller, considerably smaller than the room that I was streaming from before, it's not like the major thoroughfare through the house. So in my previous streaming room, I had to leave space to be able to move through the room to get to the other bits of the house. In here, I don't have to do that. There is one door. It's over there in the opposite corner. And that's the only place I need to leave clear. So hopefully, I'll be able to do some interesting stuff in here. And sort of branch out a bit. Because I don't want to stick purely to gaming. And this game is not going to be around forever. So I have to, obviously I have bared that in mind and I have been diversifying. But I have to continue to do that. And this house is just going to make that easier. So hopefully going forwards, expect more different stuff. Expect more variety streams in terms of gaming, expect more like talky stuff, expect cooking, expect some outdoor stuff, maybe expect some walking around IRL stuff, because I am on the boundary of the Banai Brechaniog, which is the national park in this region. I can literally walk to it. It is up the road. It's like you read my mind, digger. Oh, a canine companion? No, I'm not having another dog. I'm not having another dog. I can't afford £300 a month. Maybe if I start making lots more content and start making lots more money, maybe. But right now I can't afford a dog. I couldn't really afford Maisie, honestly. Because I got her while I was still proper jobbing. Geology stream. So what's really interesting, I've been looking at like hobbies and stuff that I could get into. Because I'd like to try and be a bit more social at this end. There is a project in the Brecon Beacons restoring lime kilns. And this might not sound very interesting to many of you. Actually, maybe, I don't know, maybe it would do. So basically, there are these old medieval and later lime kilns cut into the rocks of the Brecon Beacons, which are limestone. And there's a charity that kind of tries to preserve and restore them as, you know, examples of industrial sites. And that's kind of up my street. Like, industrial history is kind of up my street, especially geologically related industrial history. That's my kind of history. And so I might try and get involved in that and see if they want any help. Because I'm sure if I contacted them, I'd be like, "Hi, I'm a degree qualified geologist. Would you like some help?" I'm sure they would say yes. And maybe I just help them out with some, like, you know, online stuff, but maybe some practical stuff too. That'd be cool. But I need to look into that a bit more. Because yeah, I just like quarries. I like quarries. I'm a sedimentary geologist. I like quarries. No, the parents are actually going to a different national park. So Wales is just one big national park, basically. But so I'm on the western end.
Carl Reich of Storm Rage resubbed
Hi.
with Prime for 12 months
I like
total.
rocks.
Rocket launch detected.
To be fair, that is what most geologists sound like. I like rocks. Storm Rage, thank you very much for the year. Congratulations on your gold badge. Borrow a Chow Chow, I could do. Oh no, I stopped thinking. Oh no, never interrupt the stream. Help. What was I on about? Lime. I think it's finished with lime kilns. Jill just like rocks. Yeah, I blame Evan for interrupting me. Oh, parents. So sorry, I can always scroll up and see what people say. No, so I'm on the western edge of the Banai Brechainog, in English, the Brecon Beacons. But my parents are going to Pembrokeshire, more or less, sort of like halfway between here and Pembrokeshire. So they're going more like southwest. So the Brecon Beacons are more like inland, but to the south and southwest of where I am now, the coastline is some of the most amazing coastline in the world. And so my parents are going to go and mooch around a bit down there. The main place they want to go to actually is my mum's really gotten into, in her retirement, has really gotten into poetry and memorizing poetry, because she likes to keep her mind busy by learning languages and learning poetry. And she really likes Dylan Thomas, Welsh poet and author. And so Dylan Thomas's house is down there, and so she wants to go and visit Dylan Thomas's house, which is now a museum, which I've been to myself. I recommend it. It's very good. Thank you, Digger. So, yeah. Could I walk other people's dogs and stream it? Yeah, so, if I could... Okay. This would be difficult to pull off, but if I could achieve this as a business, this would be, as the kids say, goals. I would love to have, because I used to take Maisie to one, I would love to have a doggy daycare business. So you take people's dogs in the morning, maybe go and collect them. You hold on to them while the owners are at work. You exercise them, you know, groom them, whatever. Some of them have vets. And then you give them back to the owners in the evening. They maybe do overnight boarding as well. I would love to have that business, but stream it. So not only is it a streaming business that people on the internet would enjoy watching because it's dogs, but also if your dog is at the doggy daycare, you get to watch your dog while you can't be with your dog because the whole thing is streamed. I think it's freaking genius. I just don't have the capital to pay it up to pull it off. But if I could ever do that, I would love to do that. You also get to play with everyone else's dogs all day. Live hound. Yeah, it wouldn't have to start big for sure. But I can see somewhere like that growing, and there definitely are places like this where you can drop your dog off and it can be groomed. Like if it needs to see a vet, they'll have a vet who can see it. They have behaviorists who help with training, blah, blah, blah. What is a button acid dog? Oh, I've just remembered something. I've just remembered something from before the Troubles. Hang on a minute. Oh man, who is it? I wonder if they're here. Oh, heck, I can't remember who it is. Ah, there we go. Now who is this in Twitch? Can't remember who this is in Twitch. Is the owner of the Discord account T-Nox here, by any chance? Just see if I asked for permission. I've got some amazing photos to show you. Feel free to do whatever you want with them. That's permission in my book. Would you like to see some pictures that are completely unrelated to me being ill, moving, and everything? This is just like normal shit. Let's do something normal just for a second, shall we? Is my screen capture working? No, of course it's not. Let me see if I can fix that. Studio mode. No. I can't remember how my stream works. Yeah? Nah. Nah. Okay, I'm gonna work now. Hey, okay, cool. We're back in business. So we want this. And then we want to open you. And you. And you. And you. These photos are so good. And you. And you. I'm going to try and see if I can match up the descriptions as well. Okay. So, Tinox. So you might remember around the Artemis kind of time when we were watching the Artemis flybys and stuff. You might remember that someone in chat was like, I work with NASA. In fact, I work on Artemis. Do you remember? I don't think they're here right now. They're like, I work on Artemis. I've literally just arrived here in the stream because our bit of the mission is finished. I've literally just got off console. And I noticed that you were streaming it. Freaking cool. So we had two people involved because there's Tinox, who was working on, I forget which bit he was working on. Something to do with the cap of the rocket. I forget now. And Sam, who was working on some of the fabrics and straps. So Tinox says, I work at Marshall Space Flight Center. Which is apparently that building. Tinox. This building has several test labs, one of which has some of my hardware that was under test in it right now. It also has the frictionless floor inside of it, which maybe not anymore the flattest floor in North America. Okay. And so he's got one of my But NASA mugs. And so he has taken my But NASA mug on a bit of a tour around NASA. How cool is that? This made my day. So the ISS, I'm reading what he's written. The ISS Payload Operations Center is where they are in 24/7 contact with the ISS. They regulate everything the astronauts do day in and day out, create the schedules, and come up with the science projects. I was also sitting in this building when I was on console for Artemis 1 and Artemis 2 missions. That's his Redstone test site. One of the original test stands here at MSFC from back in the 1960s. It's now a historic site they bring tourists to. MSFC is on the Redstone Arsenal military base. So that's why it's the Redstone test stand, and where the Redstone rocket was named after. Here are some of the other balloons developed here at MSFC. The engine on the lower left is the F1 engine used on the Saturn V and is gigantic. Now in Huntsville, Alabama, this mug is at a tour. Huntsville, Alabama has a full-size mock-up of the Saturn V along the interstate here in town. It's at the U.S. Space and Rocket Center. This one is full-scale but empty on the inside. In one of the buildings of the Rocket Center, they have a full Saturn V dissected and on its side. But NASA mug on the ISS, can you imagine? Crazy. How cool is that? And then finally, here is the Space Shuttle Pathfinder. That is at the Space and Rocket Center. We did not get one of the final shuttles when they were sent to museums, but we got the Pathfinder. It was used to make sure that all the space shuttle operations could be carried out down at KSC and such. It's just a full-scale mock-up, not an actual flight unit. Yeah, so Tinox, who I don't think is here right now, just made my day, week, month, whatever. And my jaw dropped when I saw these. It's like, can I share something with you? Like, sure. Expecting to get some trauma dump, and I got that. Pretty amazing. Yeah, I need to check, Jimlad, what Tinox's Twitch handle is. Because I'm not 100% sure it's just Tinox. I'm pretty sure it's something different. And I just had a look at their Discord profile and they don't have it linked, so. If I see them, I will let them know. Actually, let me, what I'll do is, if I go... Tinox. Just showed your pics on Twitch. If you wanna watch it back, start around, I don't know, 2:20 in the VOD. There we go, they can watch it now. Bye, Worm. Please place this mug over NASA photos? No, because they were not perfectly lit. And not perfectly in focus. Like AI would do. Yeah, coffee mug for scale. I currently have PTSD with my phone because it reminds me very loudly when I need to take meds. Ugh. Nag now. Any other questions? Don't make me play the game. Oh, that's cool, Enderman. Nice. Jam or cream first on scones? Does it really matter? It's honestly what I tend to do when I eat scones and I have like pot of cream, coated jam. What I tend to do is just put like a dollop on one half of cream, a dollop of jam on the other half, and just kind of bite down the middle. Some bits are quite creamy, some bits are quite jammy, some bits are a bit of both. I like that way of doing it. Can't be fussed with us spreading it all around. Just whack it on there. Whack it down there. And as my dad would say, shove it in your gob. Best way to cook bacon? What kind of bacon? Which bridge? The Prince of Wales Bridge. I have been, in fact, over the Prince of Wales Bridge in the past week. Did I say week? No, not quite. In the past week and a bit, I've been over the Prince of Wales Bridge. 3 times? Yeah, 3 times. When I used to go see my parents from the old place, I used to use the other bridge, the old Severn Bridge. Not the new one. Grated cheese on scones. Can't do cheese right now. Prince Wales Bridge over the 7. Yeah, so there's 2 bridges over the 7. So, try and do this without doxing myself. Hopefully this will include it. Yeah. So, used to live here. Now live up here. Parents live up here. So there are 2 bridges. So the old bridge, which is this one, is much shorter. It's actually it's technically 2 bridges. So it's a bridge from here to here, and then a bridge from here to here. But when you're driving over it, it looks like 1 bridge. So this is the old Severn Bridge, which has the M48 motorway on it. Goes past Chepstow. And then this is the new bridge, the Prince of Wales Bridge, which is much, much longer and much deep water. And carries the M4, the modern M4, which is the motorway that goes from the west of London all the way past through here, down there to here. This one you can walk across. At some point, I still want to do it. I still haven't done it. I've been telling myself for ages. Go and walk across the bridge, because the views from these 2 bridges are insane. On some days, in some conditions, the view is just spectacular. The number of times I've been driving over here or driving over here, and I've literally had my breath taken away by the view. But you can't walk this one. You can walk this one. This one has a pedestrian thing. Yeah, I live considerably further away. In terms of driving time, so basically to get from where I am now, I would go like up and over the Brecon Beacons to get to my parents, so I would go this way. I haven't looked at exactly how long that takes yet. So my old route used to take about an hour and 10 minutes. I think this would take about an hour and 40, so it's about 30 minutes longer. So, not the end of the world. And this is the national park that I was talking about. Banai Brachainog. On this end, you have the Black Mountains. On this end, confusingly, you have Black Mountain. Stupid names. Black Mountains. Black Mountain. I don't know why it's like that, but it is. And then in the middle, you got the interesting bits that everyone goes to see. So, Pen y Fan is the most famous. But that's good walking all over the place. And then I also have access to this coastline, which basically starts there. And goes all the way around there, all the way around there, all the way around there, all the way around there. All the way around there, all the way around to there. And basically all the way around there as well. But, yeah, this sort of stretch here is about 30 minutes away. This is more like an hour. You're talking about Pendine, which is... I always forget exactly where it is. There's a few. There's... Funnily enough, this is where my parents go. MOD Pendine. This is where
Pork markets.
land speed records have been set. Skype, thank you very much. I hope that you put out many fires. How you doing? Welcome. Yeah, that's exactly where my parents were going. Not the beach, but the little town just above the beach. It has been a while, yeah. Hilly roads in South Wales, that doesn't really narrow it down. All of the roads in South Wales are hilly roads in South Wales. He's busy today. Thank you, Jago. Beaches make lousy hospitals, yeah. Thank you so much, Tiger. Welcome back. It is wonderful to be here to welcome you. Thank you so much for the raid, both of you. I was lurking a little bit. I hope that you had fun playing Firefighters. Both Skype and Tiger were playing Firefighter Simulator, which looked really good fun. Yeah, it looks good. I'm glad you enjoyed. Looking forward to eventually getting back into some, group shenanigans with you guys when I am up to it. For sure. If anyone coming in, by the way, wants to hear the story of what's happened to me over the past 2 weeks, because this is the first stream I've done in like 12 days. If you want to hear the story, you can either go back to the beginning of my YouTube stream, which is currently running, because I started talking more or less at the beginning of that, or you can go back to 1 hour and 7 minutes in the Twitch VOD or Kick VOD. Or Hangman's got the link there. If you want to hear it. If you don't want to watch it now, you can maybe save it, watch it later. Yeah, and it's a long story. Many twists and turns. Oh, the Black Mountain Pass. Yeah, so Black Mountain Pass. So if it's Black Mountain singular, it's right next to my house. If it's, because the Black Mountain is literally right there. If it's Black Mountains, then it's the other end. I should have started the story at 109, making it 69 minutes in. Yeah, I should have. Western End? Yeah, it's just down the road. Okay. Not far. Not far. Right. I think I'm going to take a break and get some more water. I'm going to check the temperature because it's really warm. I just want to make sure I'm not actually having a temperature. I think it's just warm. This is a warm room. This house has insane insulation. The landlord told me... Oh, let me tell you about the house, actually. Yay, we found another topic I can talk about. Talk about the house. Gavri, thank you very much for gift subs to Pete, Berg, Postman, Mick, and Scorpion. Thank you so much. Extremely kind. Apparently, when the owners of this house, who I'm renting it from, because they used to live here many years ago, when they bought it, well, actually, no, at the time, the husband was single, so he hadn't met his wife yet. And he bought this when he was quite young. And he's a tradesman, he's a plumber, and so he did it up himself. When he bought this, apparently it was not a ruin, but it was dilapidated, right? So it had no windows. Apparently there was grass growing inside the house, and like moss and trees and stuff sticking out of the floor. So he basically had like a shell that was slowly being reclaimed by nature, and he had to start from scratch. Which meant that he could do it however he wanted to. And that has there's a couple of significant features because of that. One is the walls are incredibly thick, because not only is it a fairly old house, they tend to have quite thick stone walls, but he's also added like several inches of insulation on the inside, which normally wouldn't be there. And so the walls are very, very thick. Because he said to me, if you want to put any holes in the wall, just bear in mind that it's not a normal external wall, because I've put insulation on the inside of all the walls. So consequently, it's a very warm house. So in the winter, it's going to be amazing. In the summer, it might be miserable. The second feature, which is one of the reasons I chose this house, there are power sockets everywhere. This room, which is a bedroom by intention, what's a reasonable number of sockets, power sockets in a bedroom in the 19 whatevers? Maybe 2 double sockets, one for each side of the bed. Yeah, that's quite normal. One on one side of the bed, one on the other side of the bed. There are 12 sockets in this room. One of them is on the wall. I said to him, did you do the sockets? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, why are there so many? He's like, well, I just don't like not having a socket available, so I just put sockets everywhere because I was building the walls and I could put them wherever I wanted to. And so I just put them everywhere. I'm like, that is amazing. And so even the smallest rooms just have sockets everywhere. The kitchen has sockets all the way along the worktop. There is a double socket outside. There is a waterproof double socket outside in the garden. It is amazing. For someone like me who's got a lot of tech, streaming, blah, 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 it is fantastic. I cannot describe to you how amazing it is just to go like, oh, there's a socket. Where can I oh, there's a socket. It's so good because my old house was the complete opposite. Like giant living room diner, 2 double sockets. I had to daisy chain so many strip plugs in the previous place that made me super, super nervous. Yeah, like if you're literally building the wall, like a socket doesn't cost anything. So that would, that's obviously what he did. He's just like, I want to just have 20 sockets in each room because I can. Cool. That's great. Every room, every large room, so both bedrooms, the kitchen, and the living room all have TV mounts on the walls with a power socket. So you can, in this house, if you want to, you can have a wall-mounted TV in 4 of the rooms. That is not normal. Yeah, the sockets with the USB slots. My parents did that in their previous house. They switched out all of their power sockets for ones with USB ports. But they were all USB-A. Because they did it just as USB-C was starting to come in. But fortunately, the face plates are quite easy to swap. Exactly, in Germany, he's going to get trade rates, etc., etc., yeah. Wall-mounted monitors, exactly, yeah. So I may well actually do that in the kitchen, so that I can read chat while I'm doing cooking streams. So I might actually look into doing that. It's not so much. It's not so much, Mickey, the case of using all the sockets. It's the case of there being a socket there when you want to plug something in, right? Because in my old house, if I wanted to plug something in, I inevitably always had to run a cable somewhere. Like, oh, where's the nearest socket? Oh, it's all the way over there. That doesn't happen in this house. Because wherever you put something down that you want to plug in, there's a socket there. It's more of a convenience thing. Do they on both parts? No. Nope. Sell my extension cords? I certainly didn't use as many setting this desk up, that's for sure. At my old place, I probably used... So I've only used 1, 2, 3. And that's mostly for getting the power up underneath the desk, rather than having to plug it into the wall. Whereas in the old place, I had to daisy chain several just to get the power to the desk. Does the UK still have pennies? Yeah, absolutely. I am going to Andromeda, thank you. Oh, we don't have those kind of circuit breakers. In the UK, we have, by law, I think now, you have to have the... Like, it's like a sealed unit. You can't bridge it. How they work inside, it's magic. Break it, yeah. Of course, Viper. You haven't seen a brass coin? Like, what's copper really? Like that one? Perhaps like that one? His Majesty's government does not encourage enthusiastic amateur electricians. I have no desire to become an enthusiastic amateur electrician. Someone else can do that shit. Alright, chat. I am gonna go and take a break. I'm gonna go and get some more water. I'm gonna see how warm it is in here. Check how warm I am in comparison. I'll also go and grab the meds that I need to take in a little bit at 11, so I don't have to get up. I don't know how long I'm going to go for. It's probably not going to be too much longer. Yeah, exactly, Sam. Exactly that. It's a very dangerous grid that we are shielded from by many, many safety features. I think that's a pretty good summary, as far as I understand it. All right, I'll be back shortly. Oh, that's a shame, Anna. That is such a shame. Have some torps. Oh, you basket. You utter basket. My ass is extremely experienced. Black Friday triple standard crate container pack which contains 3 standard Black Friday containers, which does have a very small chance of dropping a ship in each crate. One of those. And then there's going to be 1 CC crate. And the CC crate is amazing. It has things like tier 8 ships, 100,000 free XP, 50,000 coal, 15,000 coal, 35 blue boosters, and 50 subscriber camos. And it's going to be one of those. So you... Are you coveting my ass? There.
I'm following you.
Just because I've got grinder, don't make assumptions. Just because I've got the word grinder on the screen.
Do it.
Thank you. DM to Jingles. It's terrible. Terrible ship.
It absolutely is.
So he's too close anyway. Question is, where do my depth charges come off? And should I ram the submarine? Of course the answer is yes. Get right. I got a quag, it's me. That was totally worth it. Gonkaze. I made a joke. I'm funny. That was actually quite funny. Pay the joke tags? No. Never. My channel. Ta-ding! I'm running away now. Do 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 do. Ah! Ice creams? What is that? That is the best lion I have ever seen. I want to meet this lion. That is fantastic. AAO season is actually AA0, but they're both pretty good. Whoopsies. What? I'm gonna need a clip of that. Call me Stats Daddy.
Problem is that because they're not focusing on the cruiser, they're ready for it.
Mm-hmm.
Brutus.
That other Delny is the team leader.
Yes. Brutus.
Body
How could
block.
you?
Oh wait,
No,
the
you're
other
not
ones.
getting a double strike.
Oh my god!
Play of the game.
Oh.
It's not
Am I-
enough.
Why? Why is there torps every single freaking time? I can't avoid them. Oh, unless I can. I are back. I don't know why I started saying that. I have checked my temperature. My temperature is fine. 36.6, which is exactly where it should be. The room temperature is 22.6, which is considerably warmer than I'm used to. But I guess that's just my life now. Hopefully that continues in the winter as well, be nice. I have banana. I also have, I've just realized, hang on. I'm still cool, thanks. I've also realized that I don't open it on this screen, you fuckwit.
I turned, and step by step, inch by inch.
Your apartment is round. Oh my god. Yes. I have just realized. Because of my time off, I have some codes that are going to expire. So we should probably chunk through some. It might be Dutch. Yeah, I might have to I might have to start wearing shirts. Yeah. Fortunately, I like wearing shirts. Hello, Don. Croiso. 60-second Nana? No, it's a tiny Nana. It's a Tesco Nana. I'm now a Tesco shopper. Because the local supermarket is Tesco, not Sainsbury's. It's quite nice, actually. I was quite pleasantly surprised. It's a very nice Tesco. My experience was positive. If only I hadn't gotten rid of all those t-shirts. Having just unpacked, was it yesterday, all of my clothes, or most of my clothes, I can assure you I still have plenty of t-shirts. I have all the t-shirts. I still have way too many. One person does not need like 30 t-shirts. Is there a farmer's market? Undoubtedly. The farming in this part of Wales is mostly pastoral, not arable. But there probably is something like that somewhere. Yeah, I'll find the things and the places. Yeah. There's also, in Swansea, there's also a huge, famous market. There's an indoor market in Swansea. So at some point I want to go down to that. Maybe get some seaweed. Because Swansea is famous for its lava bread, which is kelp, which I quite like. Did I save the nice t-shirt? Why would I throw away the ratty? Why would I throw away the nice ones and keep the ratty ones? At some point, just to warn you, at 11 p.m. my time in 28 minutes, my phone is going to make a very loud noise to remind me to take these meds. It is very important that I take those meds, so apologies for the very loud noise that's going to come out of my phone. But it has to happen, because I must not take these. Yeah, so I have some codes. We're going to talk about World of Warships. I have some codes that are going to expire if I don't give them out. So, so let's give some away, shall we? So we'll do, well, let's do 2 separate giveaways. We could do it that way. Or we could do it the way where the winner gets multiple prizes. I think we'll do it that way. We'll do multiple prizes. How long do I have? I've got today, potentially Sunday. Yeah, what we'll do, what we'll do is we'll do 4 bundles. I don't mean like bonus bundle, I mean like stats bundle. These are 15-1. We're going to do 4 bundles.
Orbit Buster is subbed for 30 months total at tier 2.
Hey, Afsan. If you ask Frozen Yak nicely, he has the timestamp of the story. Hobbit Buster, thank you very much for the 30 months. Thank you very much for the tier 2. Extremely kind. I didn't mean Frozen Yak. I meant Urban Hangman. It's 1:07 anyway. 1 hour, 7 minutes. Don't say 67 minutes. You know what will happen. We're going to do 4 sets of prizes where each winner... Let me just check I can actually do this. Yep. Each winner will get 2 bonus bundles and a CC crate. So there's going to be 4 winners. Each winner gets 3 prizes, which will be 2 bonus bundles and a CC crate. So each winner will get 80 items. So 60 blue bonuses, 20 camos, and the CC crate. I think that's a pretty cool prize. Ooh. Ooh. Wait 2 minutes. I'm going to eat my... I'll tell you what, Dweller. I'll eat my banana now, okay? I'll eat my banana now. I'll take my time, okay? Just for you. Just because you have a nice triangle. In a nice red box. Yeah, no worries after. If the story, if you're interested in the story, it's there. The story of the pack and move. The story of the pack, move, and nearly die. Yeah. Pack, the move, and then the minor inconvenience of my body trying to kill itself. I am currently in the new playset. Dweller, are you ready? Each one to turn 67 to 69? No, what? What? You can't change the timestamp that I started talking about the story. By what? That's not how that works. Alright, so how we do it? 4 winners. 4 winners. 3 prizes each. If you have reached your claim limit for one of the prizes, feel free to pass that code on to someone else. I'm not going to do that for you. Okay? Your code to do with then whatever you like. All right? I will tell you what each code is. If you would like to enter this giveaway, you need to remember which stream deck you're supposed to be jamming, Stats. I've moved my stream decks. 4 winners, 3 prizes each. For a total of 12. Alright. So, if you want to enter, you need to be following the channel on Twitch. You need to be on Twitch. Playing World of Warships P... This is going to get complicated now. Playing World of Warships PC version on the NAE UC regions, but not the other PC versions of World of Warships that you can now play on Steam, including Legends. Which is also kind of World of Warships PC, except it's got the word Legends on the end of it. This is not for Legends. If you play Legends, this is not for you. You also need to know where your whispers are, because that's how we're going to get you the prize. Don't be a dick, etc., etc., blah. Bear in mind this is going to take a minute. Exclamation mark bloke away in the chat. You can do that in the next 6 seconds now. Go, go, go. I've got these 4 pills set on the table, and I'm trying not to reflexively take them too early. I'm going to eat you back. Depends which one you're talking about, Digger. Because I'm on 3 different ones. 3 different antibiotics and some other stuff. And they all have different schedules. So my kitchen, my bathroom mirror right now literally has a chart on it. When I got home, I was like, I have a massive mirror and some whiteboard markers, and I used to be a teacher. I'm going to draw myself a table. So now every time I go in the bathroom, I basically treat my bathroom like a dispensary. And when I go in there to get the pills, I put a tick in the box, which I've just realized I didn't do. Excuse me. I will close the giveaway when I get back from ticking the box. Sorry if I don't do that. I'll look at it later and go, did I take those? Did they give you a printout of what medications you're on and how often to take them? No. Right. Close. 49 entries. There will be 4 winners, and they're going to have to bear with me because it's going to take a little while. So what I'm probably going to do is I'll draw 2 and then 2 just so I don't have too much stuff going on. So the first 2, Odin Apprentice and Pimp Warrior. There will be 2 more. Let's get these 2 done first. From you 2, I will need your in-game names and service, please. I'm going to give you 3 codes each, and I'll tell you what they are. I don't know how this copy and paste. That works. That's 2 bonus bundles. That's a CC crate. That is 2 bonus bundles. And that is a CZ crate. All right. And the second 2, 50 sub camos. I'm so sorry. At least you got 60 blue bonuses. Right? 60 blue bonuses is not to be sniffed at. Yeah, did you claim the other 2? Because the other 2 codes gives you 60 blue bonuses in total. Make sure you claim all 3 codes. I gave you 3 codes. Don't just claim the last one. You did? Amazing. Beautiful. I'm always frightened that when I send multiple messages, people don't always read up. And then draw. Devil Worshipper and Digger the Knobhead. Usual deal, please. In-game names and service. We'll do that again at some point before Friday. Get rid of the other one. And your whispers, please, Devil Worshipper, in-game name and server. Do 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 do. There we go. Last one. There we go. All delivered. Adios, Bruce. $35 ship blue XP, nice. I probably have to play the game now, right? I'm not sure if I can remember how. I think it's the longest. That's got to be the longest that I have ever not played. Oh, no, it can't be actually. No, because there have been times like when I've done eco where I've taken like 3 weeks off. Yeah, no, it can't be actually. Nah. So unfortunately, I have I've temporarily misplaced, because I definitely put it somewhere I should be able to find it. I had a piece of paper on my desk at my old house, which had a list of all the ships that I was working through. And I wasn't quite done with the old carbon copy ships. Not including these ones, obviously. Because I just finished Fiume. But I think I had 1 or 2 left, and I don't remember which ones they were. And I tried to look for that piece of paper quickly earlier, and I couldn't find it. It wasn't in the boxes I thought it might be.
557 resubbed for 72 months total at tier 1.
Ken probably doesn't even realize that I nearly died. That's how good my mod team is. He probably doesn't even realize. I don't care. Thank you very much, Ken, for the 72 months. Thank you very much. Oh, is that 6 years? 6 years. Thank you very much. It's extremely kind of you. Did you? Did you, though? I bet you didn't. I bet you didn't. Thank you, Digger. I'll have you know I was here at the start, but Twitch's app is garbage. Yeah, I know. I know. Digger got 15,000 coal. Lovely. So there are a couple of ways that I can find out which ships I haven't done. One is go like, chat, can anyone remember the ones I haven't done? But I doubt you'll be able to. The other way is to go through and use this mod that I use that has the, you know, the win rate and the number of battles to spot any that don't have a win rate. But also I need to write down before I close the game the new ones, because of course we've just had a bunch of new Azure Lane ones. However, because I've got that mod installed that makes the carbon copy names the same, it could be a little bit tricky, because that Richelieu, I'm guessing, is not actually called Richelieu. Although, because it's Azure Lane, I'm guessing it's just AL Richelieu, right? Weebs? Bong, bong, bong. Would a weeb please come to the desk? Bong, bong, bong. Any weebs? Hello? Grant is a massive weeb. Grant, are you here? Yeah, I think these are all just AL, whatever, aren't they? Yeah. So, so let's write these down before I close the game, just so I remember to play them. Templar has been known to be a weeber, yeah, I know. Okay, so we've got Richelieu, so AL Richelieu. We have AL Tashkent. Oops, oh wait. We have AL Massachusetts, which I can never spell. AL Harbin. And AL Marco Polo. I don't think I've missed any other new ships. This will be AL captains. Yep. And AL camos. I can't view that one because I've got them turned off. I think that's all test ships and stuff. Yeah. Do I actually have them turned off? Yes. Oh, Shinano. Yeah, that was in there as well. All right. I missed that. You know, what? Did that come up because I just clicked it, or did someone at Wargaming just do something? Oh, it's T-Dogs here. Cool. Yeah, we very much enjoyed showing your stuff, your pictures. It wasn't you? No, I probably just clicked something. When I went through the list earlier, I definitely saw Shinano, so... unless someone just realized I didn't have it or something... Oh, is that one? There it is. AL no. Do I have Gorizia? So any AL ships that were previously released, I will already have. If it's a new one, I should have. In theory. Let's just check there's no other bundle received up here. No, I don't have any other bundle received. Oh, you think Gorizia is new? Maybe it was already in our ports for some reason. Sometimes they don't arrive together. It's of course not going to be called AL Gorizia. I think I need to uninstall that mod. Is that the Azure Lane camo? If it's that one, it's that one. Yeah, you can replay any of those messages, can't you? Yeah, this is it. And I've already done 10 games in it, so no, this is not new. This one not new. Yeah, if you want to ever like see one of these messages again, if you just click it, it comes up as a proper message. So yeah, so we have Richelieu, Tashkent, Massachusetts, Harbin, Marco Polo, and Shinano to do on top of whatever the ones are that I've missed from the other list. Hopefully between now and next stream I can find that bit of paper. We'll go back. If not, I'll do my other method. So the reason it doesn't, Kerensky, is that I'm using a mod that you can install from Aslanes. That what it does is if a ship is a carbon copy of another ship, not like, oh, it's based on such and such, but if it's a literal copy, like the Azure Lane ships, like the Black ships, what it does is it just does a dictionary replace. And so let's say the base ship is called Steve, and the carbon copy ship is called Dave. So normally, if you don't have the mod, you'd see Steves and Daves in the team lists and in your port, but particularly in the team lists in your battles. And so you have to remember that Steve and Dave are the same thing, mechanically speaking, which is very annoying because it means you have to remember if there's 3 copies of the same ship, you have to remember 3 different names for the same ship. I don't have the brain power for that. And so there's a mod now that you can install that just makes them all Steve. And so you know, there might be Steve, Dave, and Gerald, and it changes it to just Steve, Steve, and Steve. And so it's a little bit confusing in port, but the reason I have it installed is when I see one in battle, I don't care if there's a carbon copy called Dave. I don't care if there's another carbon copy called Gerald. I just want to know that it's a Steve, so I know what it is. I can't remember the names of 800, 900 ships when a third of them are carbon copies. So if that appeals to you, that feature exists. How many Miyokos do I have? Yes. I have yes. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 Miyokos. Apparently that one is in the middle of being rogued. I'm missing 2? Oh, don't tell me that. I'll have to do them on my press account. Once I can work out what they are. There should be 4 ARP and 2 dragon ones. I have the 2 dragon ones, so I'm probably missing 2 ARP ones in that case. I don't know what they would be though. Let's just ignore that fact for now. I am certain at some point when I go like, I've reached the end of Ranked. It's been 83 years, but I finally caught up. Someone's going to be like, no, you haven't. No, you haven't. You still got to do the 2 Miyokos. The other thing that, of course, has been going on while I have not been here is Dockyard. So I'm a little bit behind. Oh, my phone's about to make a very loud noise. I apologize. I'll try and catch it. 50 seconds. last week. Which week is the current week though? Because I've missed 2 weeks, I think. Because this week's has 5 just opened. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So I'm not that far behind. I'm way ahead of you. Really? Wow. What's your excuse? I've moved to another country and nearly died. What is your excuse? Huh? Terrible. I do not mean that, by the way. I absolutely do not mean that. Yes, it's time. Ugh. Right. That's done. Next pill's in 2 hours. Yay. Okay, so I think we should start. We could make a start on those AL ships. Because I'm pretty familiar with all this. And maybe make a start on this. 175k in one battle. Probably not going to happen in any of those ships. Maybe Shinano would be my best bet. But that's probably not going to happen in my current condition. Top half in 5 battles, that's fine. 100 XP, that's boostable. Don't let me forget to put the booster on. $60 kills. 60 kills are assisted kills. Oof, we might have to do some other modes. Yeah, we might do some ops. Might be a good way to ease myself back into it, actually, rather than doing these ships. Does anyone mind me just doing some ops? What are these? 25, because ops is like half, though. Oh, am I going to have to do 120? ASIMs, yeah, ASIMs might be better. Does count. ASIM got you defended ribbons? Which one's defended ribbons? Oh, they're all the same. Okay, interesting. Caps defended ribbons. Okay. That's interesting that they're all the same for all the classes. Okay. Alright. In that case, I'm just going to start at the top of the list and we're just going to do Richley. Although, that's not going to count towards my rank, so there's no point in doing that. So, we can just play whatever we like. Asymmetrical battles. Normally, I would go for something fast firing, but I can't cope with that right now. So we're gonna go... Do secondaries... Do secondaries get defended ribbons? They do, right? The only problem with... So I guess you can turn them off. The only problem with defender ribbons by secondaries is that you need to build up the points on the target before you hit it. And if your secondaries are too accurate, they can actually never get a flag because you keep resetting it too quickly. But you can just toggle P. Some teams are not cooperative. Well, it's no different to randoms. Alright, so what do we want to do? Cruisers, I guess, would be a good plan. But cruisers and ASIM's a bit rough, right? And what's the quantity difference? 30, 25 in battleships, 30 in cruisers, 35 in destroyers. And a cruiser nation with Stalingrad. Salem. Salem might be a good show, actually. Yeah, Salem might be a good channel. Let's see if they do that. Okay, this is definitely a record. You know how I have a record for like longest time before an actual battle? This is definitely the longest. But that's not surprising. Alright, and then we need to make sure we put on one of these. Alright. Why do you still say new? Oh no, is it one of their hidden news? Where do I need to go? There. And there. Nah, I have beaten it. I am victorious. This ship looks so good in this camo. Really suits it. To run credit booster out, do I need 40 million credits? For what? Oh yeah. Okay. Good chat, thank you. You get my back. Let's go. Go. That was weird. Ah, back on the seas. No, this is ASIM. Asymmetrical battles. That's the wrong keys. Good stuff. Is it new? No, not new at all. It's quite old at this point. It's essentially asymmetrical co-op. So it's co-op with a small number of higher tier players versus a larger number of lower tier bots with enhanced AI. These ones can actually aim. I don't have a radar. Yeah, it's probably a psychological thing though, Seabang. They probably tuned it to a specific win rate. Because I think if they tuned it so that it was 50% win rate, players might not take that too well. No, don't aim at that one. I'm aiming at that one. Game, can I change logs, please? Of course, then I missed the one I'm trying to reset. Apparently you didn't have any ribbons. There we go. Who is people not shooting at? You? Hey. No camos? No. Ugh. Because there's so many in the cap, they're not ticking quick enough. Yeah. No, 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 Moggy, no. Oh, God, okay. Maybe I shouldn't have reversed so consistently. Oops. So what was that? That was 7. Next. For Chef Cook. Hello.
Rocketmaster _2016 resubbed with Prime for 40 months total. Rocket launch detected.
Yeah, it's just how it
Ability
happens.
can go from newborn to speaking in full sentences in about 40 minutes.
Thank you. I'm glad you finally got that. Thank you very much, the 40. Yeah, I don't like seeing defended ribbons, like camp assisted camp defended ribbon in a dockyard, because it's a very lumpy kind of mission. Same with kills. And a week that has defended ribbons against every class and a kill mission, that's a bit rough. Well, we're not getting any defended ribbons in this one, are we? They do like the cap, yeah. I mean, I could go there, but then the problem is we'll just get flanked. They storm the cap. I guess I could go above them. I gotta sit in here somewhere. A bow to your vast experience, chat. If you don't mind, I'm going to have a sucky sweet. Because I'm not used to talking for this long. You do mind. Tough. do right now. Yeah, here they come. Sabia and Asim, nice. Okay, one. Hi. Please accumulate cat points. You did not accumulate cat points. Please try accumulating more cat points. You did not accumulate enough cat points. Please stop getting shot at by the GK. Look, that flank, can you just calm it, please? Right, I'm going to start shooting the Amalfi before the GK changes. Oh, come on. What? How do you not have any points? Am I not seeing the GK secondaries? Is that what's going on? Did we really not kill him? Why are all my guns broken? Hello? Oh, the GK's inside the circle. Crap. Dickbag. Giant bag of dicks. Considering that mission exists, it's a bit of a dickish thing to do, honestly. Because he could easily be sitting just outside. Exactly, Seabang. See, it fits perfectly, right? Oh yeah, that's a good point. I'm a week behind. Complaint withdrawn. Complaint withdrawn. I'm a week behind. Probably all we're gonna get out of this is the kills. Oh, I guess and the credits and whatever. Credits and XP. Yamato. It is under him now, yep. Looks like the Monarch's gone back for the cap, maybe? Oh, is that Talon going to turn towards the GK? Radared by the Talon. Oh, the Veneto turned around, okay. Oh, Yamato. You might have missed some updates in Discord. May have missed a tiny weeny little bit of news. Yeah. Yeah, no worries. TLDR, I went to hospital. I am, however, in the new house. Well, we didn't get very much from that. Okay. Did I boost this? No, I did not. You've been dumb enough to say yes to help pick up a boat tomorrow, so you have to get up at 7:30. Good luck with the boat moving. All right. Let's try that again. Hope we get domination. We did. And it's just me. It's on a trailer. Well, at least you don't have to get out of the water. The island. Yeah, the problem is that these islands are designed so that you can be shot from, you know, other places. So. I need to make sure I can see whatever's in B. The second one? This one? How about you hug the island? Alright, fine. No. Stocken, I'm not sure about this plan. I'll be totally honest. When this goes horrendously wrong, Stocken's fault. F you, Rock. We farm one, farm the other one. We drink a whiskey drink, we drink a lager drink. We'll die horribly because not actually killing anything, but we'll get loads of defender ribbons. They've had a maritime accident. I would like to go backwards more, but I can't.
Diaraku subbed for 7.
Diarak, no, not now.
Tier 2.
Nah. Why now? Nah. Thank you very much for the 75. Thank you very much for the tier 2. Very much appreciated. Now, one of you needs to die. You're not a bloke biologist.
Target that I
This is
just
like
treat as a-
ideal conditions,
yeah,
although I do
treat it
need to reset that
fucking
Sherberg
birds.
potentially. Nope, it's okay. Because I needed my frames. Can you not?
Dran Hortra subbed for 5 months total at tier 1.
Thank you very much, Drakenhort, for the 5. I mustn't get the cap because then I can't have the cap ribbons. No, don't reset that one. I want to reset that one. Hi. Oh my god, he had both of them. Yeah, 30 total, I think, in cruisers. 25 for battleships, 30 for cruisers, 35 for destroyers. Nah, I'm just showing off. Think we're losing? Fortunately, winning is not part of the dockyard. I am one of the causes of us losing because I haven't actually, you know, been killing stuff. I've been spreading my shots around between all the ships in the cap, not actually killing them. Because mission design. If Wargaming wanted me to win, they would have designed missions to make me win. But instead, they have specifically designed missions that in ASIM result in you losing. So they shouldn't be surprised when that happens. Well, fine, let's use duty. No. Ow. Ooh. Well, we did the mission, 58. The magic of this. No, I take it back. I take it back. You were absolutely correct. That is a gold mine. If you want defended ribbons, play a cruiser, go to that island, do exactly what Stock and Sprout says, because that is amazing. Thanks, Andrew. I won't be on too much longer. I'm surprised I've done 4 hours.
Emergency. 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 Someone did
thanks.
a thing. Emergency. Emergency. Emergency.
Oh, Germans are turning up. Wonderful, I can kill Germans.
Here is a little money to help with anything that comes up during the move.
Any tiny little thing like having to take an extra
Yeet
week off.
gave 5,000 bits.
Thank you. That's there's all sorts of things. I've got a piece of paper in the kitchen which has a list of. It just says things I need at the top. It's got an ever-growing list of stuff. So that will absolutely come in handy. Thank you very much. Not to mention the fact that I haven't streamed for 12 days. So thank you very much. That is extremely kind. I haven't done it yet, but I will absolutely. I will be adding things to the throne once I've changed my address and stuff in the background. Because there's definitely going to be stuff that I need.
Emergency. Emergency. Someone.
I know. I haven't had a chance.
Emergency. Emergency. Emergency.
There will be stuff on there, but I haven't got to it yet. It is on my very, very large, very long to-do list.
My sphincter tightened a bit there.
Yeet gave 5,000 bits.
You want to type a message? Okay, what was the message? Type it now. Type it now. Too late. It's not ruined. I was going to read it like the bot. Thank you very much, Yeet, for another 5,000. That is extremely kind of you. Holy moly. That will definitely come in handy. Even if it's just to buy groceries. Thank you so much. Good night, Mikios. Yeet, thank you. Yeah, the moving is just hugely expensive. And then being ill is also hugely expensive if you're self-employed. So thank you so much.
Steiny who
Stainy.
gifted 10 tier 1 subs to chat. Hydrate.
Stainy's gifted 10 subs. Ooh, went a bit wiggly there. Thank you very much for gifting subs to Legacy, Andy, Tescal, Doc1234, Cananas, Smoltrin, and Big G, Hey Attacker, Hey Attack Al, Melancholy Hill, and Was. Thank you very much for the gift subs, Stainy. Very kind of both of you. Thank you so much. Oh, so grocery shopping is actually really good. So the drive to the supermarket at my old place was about somewhere between 15 and 20 minutes one way. And so, like, it wasn't a huge excursion to go shopping at the old place, but it was, you know, had to be planned and, you know, there could be traffic and all that kind of stuff. Where I am now, the nearest supermarket is bigger. It's nicer. It's a really nice building. It's a nice place to be. Whereas my old supermarket was a bit depressing. And basically it's on the side of town, so that the nearest town, it's on my side of that town. So in order to get there, I don't have to drive through the town, which would take ages. And so I can get there, and if I like literally drove there, turned around and drove back again, it would take about 12 minutes. It's technically in walking distance. So if I ever fancied walking down there to get something, I could do that.
Birder Chris said.
I just want to say
So, yeah,
Grantry
pretty
is a
good.
nice man. A very nice man. A very, very nice man. Who gave me a
Aw.
code, which turned
Oh.
into a Gascornia.
Well, there you go. You got a Gascornia, or whatever she just said. Thank you very much, Grant. I've never driven through it. It's not that bad. It's not LA bad. But it's not LA big either. Thank you, Blackstaff. Is it a bicycle area? Oh, it could be, yeah, like mountain bikes and stuff, yeah. For sure. Unfortunately, in Banai Brechaniog, the open access land of the national park, which I'm right next to, is no biking.
Emergency.
So you can go anywhere you like, as long as you're on foot.
Someone did a thing. Emergency. Emergency. Emergency.
Three ships, Grant. Get you.
Hello, I'm Cathedral.
Enjoy your not Sainsbury's.
Dweller _in_ darkness just gave £100.
No. Dweller, thank you so much. It's a Tesco. Thank you so much. That will definitely get used. Appreciate that. Because that together with Yeats Bits is... that's a significant amount of groceries, so thank you so much. That will keep me in noms. Thank you. Hello, Langor over on Kick. How you doing? That'll help. Yep. Thank you. You're off to bed, Stainy. Thank you for the gift subs again. Holy shit. Thank you both. Very kind. Yeah, it's kind of a biking area, but you'd have to stick to like the roads and paths. Oh, I still need to wait for that mash stand. Anyway, that's done. We could do Illinois, because Illinois would be, in theory, be as easy as playing a cruiser. But it's only 25. You're just not going to get the spawn. Hull? Yeah, Hull will work as well. Let's see that this works. Something SP, yeah, that's fine. Are you trying to use your steel coupon? What are you considering? So there's a pretty good chance of something driving into C, but I've got to compete with this Napoli secondaries. So it might be better if I cross over towards like between B and C so I can cover B. Mecklenburg, solid choice. Austin, bonkers. Barbiano, bonkers. You can't really go wrong with the steel ships, honestly. Obviously, they have very different playstyles, but they're good ships. We were hydrated me earlier, thank you. Napoli gonna drive into that cab. Plymouth? Yeah, that's not one of the... It's not weak, but I wouldn't say it's one of the stronger choices. Unless you just happen to really like that kind of cruiser. Yeah, it's a challenging play for sure. It's an interesting ship, though. No, don't reset the medal, you bastards. It's getting reset too. God damn it. Yeah, Zeton, are you gonna go in the middle? We're gonna reset you too. Hurry up. The Salem on the corner is going to farm the shit out of him. Oh, okay. Let's stop over here now. Nah. Yoink. I can see that. That'd be great. This Cleveland. Hi. You have all the cap points. Please, Gib. Yep. No, no tops. Why tops? Ooh, see, not resetting this Nebraska. Allow me to help you with that, Salem. Definitely not being selfish. Nope. Nah. There's no point in shooting these ones anymore because they've already capped. Quick before it dies and you start shooting the Nebraska. This is definitely a recipe for losing ASIM. No question. Ugh, this Cleveland is using the cover so incredibly well. Like, better than a player would do. Like, an average player would not do that. I'm gonna die. There's a North Carolina over there. I am gonna die. Hi. Cleveland's still back there. It's like, you can't see me, but I can see you. If that was a human right now, I'd be going like, oh, good job. Good job, buddy. Good job. That's exactly how you should be playing Cleveland. If I could get to this heal, I would love that. Okay. Unfortunately, I can't get this camp and get the camp ribbon for it because the hawk is sitting in it. Hawk is also coming this way. So that's fun. ready for the beeps. 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 I think I missed the round. No, I did not. Okay, that taupe was crap. What was that? Oh my god, I can cap. I can cap if only there wasn't a North Carolina right there. I'm not gonna shoot because I need this ribbon. If I stay very, very quiet and don't annoy it, it might leave me alone. We're just gonna keep reversing. Yeah, bonus ribbon. We hunting rabbits, we are. Now we can be left. Let's go. So that's going to be 12. 12 out of 25, not bad. Pretty much half in one game. I agree. In the weighting between caps, assisted caps, and defended ribbons, there definitely needs to be a weighting. Yeah, I would say like a solo cap is 10, an assisted cap is 5, and a defended ribbon is 1, or something like that. Or like 5, 3, 1, or something. Because the fact that a defended ribbon is equally weighted to a solo cap is just kind of silly. Ooh. For the first time from Waylandia.
Great time, it's great time, it's a great old time.
You got that for me.
Great time.
Is anyone still paying attention? Hey.
Super container.
Okay. Who said that? Ben. Ben, you are banished. Damn it. You did get the unlock spot. Argos vouchers for me, you mean? I don't know where my nearest Argos is actually on this end. At the other end, it was really easy. I would have to look. The best like shopping type vouchers for me at this end would be either Tesco or Lidl. Llanelli? That's not too bad. Although they have an online shop, of course. They have an online shop and they deliver. Fast-firing tier 10 British battleship with smoke. Probably. You all look the same to me. Nice. There's a decent retail park by Parker Scarlets. Where's that? Is that Llanelli? Okay. Probably the stuff that I would get from Argos, I would probably order online for delivery. Either from Argos or from somewhere like Amazon. So location isn't that important for something like that. Oh, is it Promenade Walk? Nice. I've never been to Llanelli. I don't know it very well. Or at all. Too good to go? We do, yeah. I introduced a bunch of people to it last year, including Jirak. I sent a picture of my Too Good To Go bakery bag because I wanted to try it out. And Jirak responded to me the next day with his bakery bag. That would actually be a sponsor I would like to work with. Quite like any kind of organization or charity that tries to reduce food waste and make sure that perfectly good food doesn't go in the bin. I'm very much a fan of, because I try to waste as little food as possible personally. They're all sitting in the frickin' cap. Country of Togo, probably. What is that YouTube link? Is that a video of Little in South Wales? Spurgeon, why do you have to be so cruel? Thanks, sake. Oh, that's interesting, Z-Mac. Nice. The album, the Isle of Wonders, as Killer Ben calls it. Well, you can get a welding rig and a wetsuit at the same time. Hey, quackers. Welding rigs, wetsuits, scented candles, plasma cutter. Holy shit. Ow, ow. The frick was that? Was that you? Ooh, it was you, you little bastard. Every now and again, they remind you, this is not co-op. You're gonna do it again. Ah! Every now and again, they just tap you on the shoulder and they're like, remember, this isn't co-op. You give me an inch, I'm gonna take it. Quick, he's not looking. There we go. Oh, DCB. It is stuck in. You're totally right. I remember when Lidl was the first one to come to the UK. I remember when Lidl first arrived, and as well, I was a student, I think. And like, yeah, I just remember going in there and it being really weird. It was like, I don't know, it reminded me kind of a bit of being on holiday. Because it was so alien. With stuff being like stacked on the floor, and like the whole shop had like a tiled floor, which I remember being very strange. Because in our sort of traditional supermarkets, usually the only part of the store that's tiled is the produce department with the fruit and veg. But yeah, these days it's just accepted, it's just normal. Oh, I almost got a defender ribbon. Drive into the cap. There's a Colorado down there somewhere as well. This is really close, and I can't really afford to be switching targets if we want to win, but mission's a mission. Fortunately, the secondaries on the LSS are not going to let me get a word in edgeways. Oh, maybe. No. No chance. If someone's around with a secondary ship, you're just not going to get the resets. Of course, now the sub's going to drive into the cap, so I can't get any cap ribbons. Yeah, there's just more because in ASIM it's obviously a larger number of bots. You've just got more chance of one of the bots getting left alone compared to randoms where it's you know, symmetrical. It's a pretty good environment for farming defender rooms as long as you don't get standard battle. Because in standard battle, obviously they concentrate on the one cap, and so they tend to do what they've done in this match, where they kind of come in ones and twos. What you want is the 3 cap arrangement so that you can have a large number of bots, a small number of players. We're going to kill him just as he crosses the boundary. The seal's in there anyway. Oh, the seal's actually a periscope. I might get a rim. I might get one. 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 No, didn't leave it long enough. Maybe this time? Oh, come on. I waited extra. I waited extra. I controlled my urge. Waited a full 20 seconds that time. There we go. Should we let the sub kill him? No, because he's a periscope depth, so because he's not capping, he's not blocking. You have to be, as a sub, you have to be on the surface to cap. Not at periscope. Can I air lead? Yeah, I'm not going to be far behind you. Because I have to have some food before I can have my next set of meds, because they require food. And then we shall be to bed. There it is. Now, of course, I'm in the cap. See if I can leave. Ooh, sub might have nailed him, actually. Yep. There we go. 4 kills. I'll take that. 4 kills and 1 reset. Not bad. Not bad. Would technically pass halfway. It's not bad. Right, chat. I think I'm gonna call it because I am starting to lose energy and focus.
Grey
Hello,
Wolf,
Grey Wolf.
111 resubbed with Prime for 37 months total. Rocket launch detected.
Time for my tidbit of support thrown in for the month. Keep charging, keep strong, and regain your health.
Yes, I shall stay plugged in. I don't have fast charging right now, so it's just a trickle charge. Grey Wolf, thank you very much for the 37. Welcome back. It's good to be back. like I said in Discord earlier, or yesterday, when it was, all the days blurred into one. I don't know what's going to happen in terms of streaming schedule for the next, week or so. Obviously, my energy levels are not up to doing full streams. Some days I feel better than others at the moment, or even honestly from hour to hour. But I'm glad I was able to get a few hours of streaming in. That's really good. Tomorrow, in theory, I should be able to do something. I might stick to ships just because it's, easy and familiar, and I can keep pausing and in between battles and stuff. So I might do another ship stream. We'll see. Sunday, I've got my parents coming during the daytime, and I might go and do the cleaning at the old house on the Monday, which would require me to get up very early in the morning. So I don't know whether I'll do a stream on Sunday. But obviously, if I don't, I'll let you know in Discord. If there's any kind of change, I'll let you know in Discord. But hopefully, after a little while, things will start to settle down and look something like normal. But yeah, just bear in mind that at the moment I can't do my normal schedule. But I'll try and get as close to it as I possibly can. All right. Thank you so much for the support. I think Stainy's gone, but Yeet and Dweller, thank you so much.
Harry Super Jim resubbed with Prime for 37 months total. Rocket launch detected.
Just remember that if you get too bored in hospital, there is always a lovely mobile game that a nice Twitch streamer got me into Raid Shadow something.
Well, so I'm going to probably be taking, if it's still available, while I was in hospital, Stream Elements poked me about Star Trek Online. And frankly, this process is very expensive, and not streaming is very expensive, and so I'm probably going to have to take the Star Trek Online sponsorship, because it's a pretty good game. I was watching Lima do his, and Lima did very well out of his sponsorship, so I may take a Stream Elements Star Trek sponsorship. In which case, I will be encouraging you guys to sign up and play it. So, please, in the next few days, weeks, if you are like, oh, I fancy playing Star Trek Online, please don't. Please wait. Because I'm probably going to do a sponsorship. Yeah, because that will bring in a significant wodge of cash. Because I think Lima said that, so Lima's CCV is somewhere around, I don't know, don't want to guess, but somewhere around 30 probably. And Lima got like $1,200 from that. So, with the CCV, like, an order of magnitude larger than his, in theory, I should do pretty well. No, sorry, it's not Star Trek Online. It's Star Trek. I'm not going to say the name, because if I can say the name, you'll go and look it up, you'll start playing it, and then I won't get the money when I do the sponsorship. It's a Star Trek mobile game, the name of which I can't remember, and I don't want you to know anyway. Okay? It's not Star Trek Online. Star Trek Gacha mobile game. But it looks pretty good. I was watching Lima play it when he was doing his sponsorship, and actually it looks alright. I've seen a lot worse. Battlestar Trek Galactica, that's the one. Yep. That is the one. Azure Lane? I mean, if they pay well. If they pay well. Don't start trying playing any Star Trek games just yet. Just don't play any Star Trek games for the next couple of weeks. Yeah, or at least don't sign up to any new ones. Right, let's stop the YouTube. If anyone missed the story earlier, the story is right at the beginning of the YouTube stream, because I started it as I started telling the story, more or less. So that's probably the easiest place for you to go and find the story. I will also probably pull it out for people who weren't here or aren't aware or whatever, and I'll stick it in Discord. because people might want to know what's happened. And it was a pretty logical, like, telling of the story, so I'll probably do that. So if you missed that, you might want to look out in Discord as well, because I'll post a highlight at some point. Just so I don't have to keep answering questions. Also, Cog earlier posted a bunch of codes above the chat, or in the chat. If you can't see the pinned message, I'll just repost the message now. Maybe take a copy-paste of that message I've just posted and check that you have claimed those codes, because maybe you haven't. All right. I will hopefully see you tomorrow. I can't promise anything, but I will hopefully see you tomorrow. Thank you very much for watching. I didn't actually end the YouTube stream. Let's do that.